And
Okay.
then I will hopefully get your picture soon enough, and we'll get you all set up.
Alrighty. Sounds perfect.
All right. Got a
I'll
minute and
boot the
44
stream
before
up
we
too.
start the lesson.
Sorry?
I have a minute and 44 before we start the lesson, but the stream is started.
Okay.
And of course, email is slow. I haven't seen that picture yet. You sent it to M. Klubeck, right?
Yeah,
K O
mklubeck at
U.
gmail.com.
Yep, Koubeck.
Yeah. Sent. It is I believe it's taking a second to
Okay.
send. Yeah.
It's gonna come all the way from
mklubeck at
Canada.
gmail.com. Yeah, it's got to come a far way. It's got to come a
Ah,
far
there it
way.
is. I got it. All right. So one of the things I can tell you that I'm also going to do is ask you about yourself, about chess, how you got started playing chess, how long you've been playing chess, and probably why you're
Okay.
streaming chess. Why do you like streaming chess? And then we'll use
Yeah,
that
yeah.
for the stream.
Okay,
And
sounds
I'll
sounds
play
good.
with your picture live because I'm not good enough to play with it not live. Uh, but
Fair enough,
I'll
fair
add your
enough.
picture. All right. And then I usually go over 3 games, which I downloaded 3 games from chess.com. And I will
Okay.
show you how to get there on Chess. So if you sign into Chess, that would help me out a bunch.
I can do
Hey,
that, sure.
everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to edit my image here because we're going to put up a picture of our guest today, our student, LOLEntix. Do you want me to call you LOLEntix, or do you want me to call you by another name?
You can call me Entix or Mac, my real name.
Okay.
It's whatever's up to you.
All right. I'm happy to use whatever you like. So that works for me. Let's see. Hey, Ratchet, you're early today. Reminiscing about what? Now you got me. Now you got me curious. Before I start my lesson, what are you reminiscing about? All right, we got your picture. Let's see. All right, we have you in live. You're good to go. All right, we have your picture.
Awesome.
Excellent. We're there. Ah, well, good. Hey, King, how's it going, guys? We're gonna get started. This is great. I'm glad you guys are showing up. I got to do the movie trailer. This hopefully will be the last time that we have a mistake in the movie trailer. Not a mistake, but Baby Carly couldn't do it, right? Cry Baby Carly. And we have on stream today with me for his first lesson, Entix or Mac, who is getting his very first lesson from me, and he has ability to get another one and 2 from Sudakus. But he is our last minute sub. Thank you so much for helping us out, Mac. We appreciate it.
No problem. I appreciate the chance to be a part of the community.
Outstanding. So we are going to show our trailer video, which Mac, you can hang out. You can talk to your stream because you probably won't be able to see it unless you're watching my stream, which of course you probably
I'm
can
watching
do.
too.
Okay, well there you go. Let's watch the video and then we'll get right to the lesson.
In a world where only 8 kingdoms remain, a battle was forged to decide who would rule them all. Asap Lina, Dave Show, The Shield Comet, Bolt, Killy Valentine, Eden Ivra, Crybaby Carly, and Hannah Witter, with the commentary from Tiberian 64 in Sudaku's chess. Who will win? Who will shed a tear or two? Watch the MayHam Chess Tournament starting this May 3rd at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Who will bring home the bacon or the ham. Well, you know what I mean. Time to castle. No! Mouse slip!
Two apples. Did you notice? That was a mouse slip. That had to be a mouse slip.
You're right, Tiberian. That was a mouse slip. What a game changer!
Ah, that was fun. I love that trailer. All right. I'll just remind Mac, if you could stay on after we're done. Well, actually, you're streaming after we're done. So, guys, I'm going to raid Mac after we're done, and I'll catch up with Mac later to talk to him about stuff, prepping him for the tournament. He has time. Well, you have about 2 weeks, Mac, before we can make sure we can figure out the video part, because we definitely want to have your face when we are shooting and showing the tournament. We gotta have you live. Your reactions are pretty awesome
Of
right now.
course.
We love your reactions. We love your enthusiasm and your love for chess. By the way, how'd you get started with chess? What's your background for chess?
Well, I've played chess for not a long time. I played as a child with my father, and unfortunately, I wasn't very good, so I wasn't very enthusiastic about it. But recently, around December, November last year, my friend got into it, so I decided that I'd put the hat in and give her a try too, and I've stuck with it. I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoy the community and the competitiveness of it. So it's for me, and I definitely want to keep on grinding and improving.
Awesome, awesome. And you've been streaming for just a little while, right? You just started.
Yeah, actually, I've been streaming for one whole week now,
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah,
an
that's
entire week.
oh my gosh. I didn't realize that you were that new to streaming. Well, this is going to be a great opportunity for you to meet a lot of people in the chess community. Wow. So that's pretty awesome. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
In Lee Chess, I need you to follow me. So you need to find me and follow me. And I'm Tiberian, not Tiberian 64, Chess Tiberian. Wow, King, you've only been playing for about a
Chess
year.
Tiberian.
Wow. No, it's just Tiberian on Lee Chess.
Oh, okay.
In Lee Chess, you want to find Tiberian and follow me. But you also then I need you to come over to the study that I built for you. So if you found me, did you find me?
Follow. Yep, followed now.
All right. Go to learn and then study. I know you're mostly a chess.com guy. Hey, Creative Minds.
Study.
Hello, hello. Wow, Ratchet, you've come a long way really fast. Yeah, learn, study, studies I contribute to.
Ooh,
And,
studies I contribute to. Okay. Oh, found it.
all right.
Perfect.
Oh, good. And now you are a contributor, which means you can actually move pieces. I will drag you with me, whichever chapter I'm on, which is 3 games I put in for you. But you can actually
Okay.
move the pieces. You can see me draw arrows, and you can draw arrows or circle with your right click would circle, and you could do different colored
Okay.
circles. So you can use Alt and Shift and Control and make different color circles. And the same thing with arrows. So you can do shift and the arrows can be different colors. So all of that's available and you can make comments, but mostly you're going to be able to tell me things like, well, I was thinking he might do this. You can actually move the piece. Hey, Flavio, thank you. All right. So you can do a lot of this. All right. So we can communicate pretty easily and everyone will see us both communicating, but let's go over 3 of your games. And my way of teaching, especially at the beginning, is to find 1 or 2 things for you to work on until the next lesson. Because if I give you like
Okay.
20 things to think about, it's too much, right? You're not going to take it
Yeah,
all
of
in.
course.
Right. So it's too much. So I'm going to look for just 1 or 2 things to help you improve. maybe one, but one or two things. Now, when I'm looking for those two things, I'll be telling you a ton of things. So you could go back over this later and say, oh, I want to, he was talking about this or that. You could go back and find it. But I'm going to focus on just one or two things. All right. For the lesson. And then after we do that for about another maybe 45 minutes or less, we'll have one of our viewers go ahead and challenge you. I have a couple that love challenging the streamers for the tournament. Every time I do a lesson, they're in there. I want to challenge them. We'll have them play you a game. We'll listen to you, and that's probably when you're really going to have to think about being focused. But
Of
you'll play them
course,
a
of
game.
course.
I'll turn off my mic. I'll leave yours on, and so that way we can hear your thoughts, but you won't hear me talking about your game. And then after the game, we'll throw this game, that game that you play, into this study, and we'll review and see if you covered those one or two things. And I'm going to try to do all of that in no more than an hour and a half because I have to go back to work. I'm
Okay, I'm
I'm on my
excited.
I'm on my lunch hour. So okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So far so good. No issues, no problems. And we look like we were transposing almost into a London, but then we
Yeah,
had
I threw the London bishop out there. I usually go with some sort of King's Indian variation on
mhm.
both white or black. Um, but depending on what the opponent throws out, I like putting a London bishop up there.
Okay. So it's interesting you're saying King's Indian, and I'm used to the King's Indian being the king pawn out for the King's Indian with the fianchetto bishop.
Hmm.
So I don't, and I'll tell you, I don't really care about if you know the names of openings and stuff. That's totally irrelevant to me. What's important to me is that the reason you would want to know an opening name like King's Indian, if you're telling me you're playing the King's Indian setup, which for white would be the King's Indian attack, the benefit of knowing the name is that you could then go look up, YouTube and anybody else and books and say, how do I play the King's Indian attack? You want to make sure that's the one that you're looking for. So no problems. So the opening I like for black so far is only the fact that he's developing as fast as possible. It looks like. I'm not overly crazy about this move only because if you then end up with a London setup, when the bishop comes here, you can't back up to G3. So normally in the London, the bishop gets backed up to G3 because if they take, you take back and open up your H file. So we'll just see how it goes, though. So good. You get your fianchetto in and you castle. And look, hey, it's like I almost predicted it. I did not look at your game ahead of time. I like to be surprised along with you. I like to just kind of like watch and see.
Okay.
Okay. So again, normally here you'd be backing up, but of course you wouldn't have a fianchetto bishop in this situation. Also, good, good. That kept, of course, from messing up your pawn structure in front of your king. So you've transposed nicely. That's looking good so far. Okay. I'm just watching, trying to see what I can give you advice on first. And sometimes, by the way, I'll be giving you feedback on what your opponent did right or wrong, because either you could have taken advantage of it, or we can learn from their mistakes also. So far it's pretty interesting. This knight is off on the rim, and your queen is over here away from the rest of your pieces. But you're fully developed. Your rooks are talking. I call this gossiping. They like to talk to each other. And your queen is black's queen is the only thing that he has to get off the board. Make sense? Looking good so far.
Yep.
Okay. So here though, here's an interesting choice. You're not helping them undouble his pawns, but you are bringing this pawn into your e4, which I think could be probably a mistake. And we'll see how the game goes. I do pick, just so you know, guys, these are 3 losses. Not that he loses a lot, but these are 3 losses because I think, and as you guys know, I think you learn more from a loss than you do from a win. So I
Of
prefer to
course.
look at your losses. All right. So now we get an attack and we're threatening to win a pawn. So that's good. Okay. But look, you both have knights on the rim, so that's interesting. And he just runs away. Okay. It still holds the pawn, so that's fine. Running away, I think it was a good choice. I also wouldn't have minded this for black, because if we get something like this, although he still has doubled pawns, He does have a nice deep pawn, kind of making your bishop super, not really doing anything. And he just has to get his knight into the game because you guys are going into an endgame pretty quick. But anyway, let's see. So he backs up instead, and he does get that solidified without having to worry about doubling his pawns. Okay, I like this because you're trying to get your bishop active, and there's only a few squares, but it's better than here where he has no squares, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Chases your knight, and you chase his bishop knight. So, and I'm just going through a litany of things, and some of the stuff you are feel free to just say, "Yep, I know that. Yep, I got that. Yep, nothing new there. That's fine. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't hurt my feelings." So when you get attacked, I teach my beginners that there's 5 things that you could do when you're attacked, and it depends on the situation, right? So like sometimes you can interpose a piece, but if a pawn is attacking you, you can never interpose a piece because a pawn is only 1 square away. You know what other pieces you would attack with that you cannot interpose a piece between?
Oh, wouldn't it be the queen or king?
The king, because the king only moves 1 square. So if the king attacks you, by the way, most people don't think about the king. And the reason they don't think about the king is because they don't think of the king as an attacking piece. But many
Mm-hmm.
times in the end game, your king is one of your strongest attacking pieces. So very good. Yeah, the king is only 1 square away, so you can never interpose anything between what the king is attacking and the piece that he's attacking. What else? Pawns, kings, and one more piece can never interpose. Queens you can interpose, right? I mean, it depends on the
Yeah,
distance.
yeah. I guess it'd be a knight because they jump.
Yeah, excellent,
Yeah, yeah.
excellent. So knights, pawns, and kings you can never interpose, but interposing is an option. Another option is running away, right? Just run away. So he attacks your
Yeah.
knight, and this is the only safe square, so you would have had to run away to there. Uh, Another option, which is normally the number one option, for again, just general principle, the best option most times is to take the piece that's attacking you, but you couldn't even take the piece because it's protected, and 2, you had nothing attacking it.
Yeah.
So that's, I think we've done 3 now. Fourth one is to protect the piece, but obviously not when you're being attacked with a pawn and it was already protected. But a lot of times you could just protect the piece if it's equal value, or if like the queen is attacking you, you go, well, I'm protected, so I don't care. In fact, if we look back here, the queen is attacking you, right? But your pawn is protecting you. So that would fit that bill. And then the last choice, which is the highest risk but also many times the highest reward, is attack something else of equal or greater value. So you leave your piece in pre under attack to attack something of equal or greater value. All that makes sense?
Yep, all good.
All right. Hey, Chess Whiz. So you chose the most risky item to do, and we'll see how it pans out. But I'm thinking black should take, you would take, and black could take, and you would take, and black can take and get a pawn with check. Not that you have to let all that go. You could have taken back, and then he could take back, and you end up with the same amount of pawns. But he ends up with your king gets opened also. Now his king is already open based on what he did. So let's see what happens
It's
there.
it happened a little differently than
Oh,
that.
he did take. Okay. He took.
He took.
He took again. And then you took back before you got too far. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. And then now he has a choice to take or not. He chose not to take, right? He could have taken and have doubled pawns, but I guess he's figuring if you take, he's going to take back with the pawn or with the queen. And so he's okay. So instead he moves 1. This move I'm not so sure about. I don't understand what. Oh, because it can only move 1. I think he wants to keep pushing it. And the pawn's already moved,
Yeah,
of
just to
course.
open up my king.
Yep, I think he wants to try to open up your king. And okay, I'm okay. And then he does, but you do a good job. And now this pawn is protected, so good. He brings his queen into the fray, gives you this pawn, but of course you have to make a choice again. Your pawn's under attack. You protect it or protect it, bad move, or protect it, right? Or do you attack something else? You could just take that. You can't run away with your pawn. You can't interpose anything with your pawn. So I'm going to guess you protected it. Good move. and he is continuing to try to break you open. And why is he trying to do this? Because he's got the rook lined up, he's got the queen lined up, he wants to get his bishop into the game, and he's trying to get an attack on you faster than you can survive it, right? All right, bring back the queen. Like it. Take with the queen, and of course, queen is pinned to the king, so the queen can't run away. Queen can't do something else. So he takes, you take, and he's this is interesting. All right. Actually, for some reason, I saw this game. I actually watched you play this game. I swear I did.
Yeah, yeah. I was just thinking about that.
I'm pretty sure I watched this game. So now we're getting to the point where you're actually ready to, you're in the end game, right? You're transitioned into the end game. And the question is, what is the best positioning for your pieces in the end game? So let's stop for a second and you just tell me, because you're only on move 26. I'm pretty sure you had a decent amount of time at this time in the game. Where would you, if you could put your pieces anywhere, right? Just tell me where you'd want them. And you can show me on the
Well,
board.
I'd obviously want both of my rooks on his seventh.
Yeah, that would be
But
nice. That would be
I would
nice.
probably like that bishop. Not a lot of great files for the bishop, so obviously I'd probably want it somewhere deep. I want both those rooks on either the open file, where his king and rook are lined up, or possibly thinking about keeping that one rook, backing the pawn up on the left side to possibly look for a pass pawn eventually, depending if I could snag that b pawn eventually.
Okay.
But that would kind of be a variable. And I'd like the king behind those three pawns, probably, ideally.
You're a king over here?
Yeah, yeah, around there, around that
Okay.
general area behind those.
Okay, let's have a little discussion about that. Hey, Satoshi, thank you, and thank you guys for saying hi to him and let him know what we're doing. So we're busy, and you know that, and let him know. So what I see is I see your bishop here holding this pawn, right? Nice diagonal, still having this diagonal.
Mm-hmm.
I see your rooks on this file, and try. I mean, I'd be happy if you traded off your rooks, but I'd want your rooks on this file. And I'd want your king over here fighting and protecting. And I say that
Okay, yeah,
because
that makes sense.
you notice his pawns are on white, which means his bishop has not as much scope. In fact, his bishop is kind of stuck right now. So I'd want to get my bishop out of the way, get my rook onto the open file, and then get my king up here to protect the pawn and keep this bishop out of the game. Look, the bishop can't go here, still can't get by. Goes here, can't get by, right? So the bishop has no, I mean, he has to do all of this to just try to become active. So I see the bishop here, your rook's taking over this open file. By the way, it is the only fully open file, right? You have a semi-open, and you have a semi-open, and a semi-open, and he has a semi-open, but there's only one fully open file.
Mm-hmm.
So my thinking, I'm thinking this would come first possibly. King might move. I'd move my bishop so I can get my rook over here as soon as possible, and because I don't want him, right? I don't. I might even have to delay and put my bishop here first, but I don't want him to be able to get his rook in here. This is the only square that I'm worried about for his rook. All right, let's see what happens though. So bishop comes here. I basically don't like it because you're stuck behind your own pawn. He makes his king active, which is good, right? He needs to have an active king. By the way, that's why I don't want your king behind these three pawns. You had mentioned that. I just want to make sure we talk about that. That kings in the endgame need to be active. The more active your king is in the endgame, the better chance you have to win. Your king is an attacking piece in the endgame, so we want it out front in the middle of the board doing damage. I know it sounds scary because normally you hide your king. So this drops a pawn, right? You see that?
Um, yeah, it'd probably drop on the semi-open file, wouldn't it? Eventually,
Drops the a pawn
if he
almost
brought that
immediately,
over.
right? But I guess you don't have to, right? I mean, you don't have to. In fact, I think this is what happened. No, it didn't. But you don't have to take back with the rook, so it doesn't drop a pawn. I'm fantasizing that you have to take back with the rook. I'm sorry. I'm half brain dead this morning, I feel like. So, all right. So you come over here. It's almost worth a try for him to take, but he doesn't have to take either. By the way, if you take, he gets the open file, which you could then fight for. So I think he should have just progressed with his plan of moving his king up into the board, because he shouldn't be worried about you taking. But then he went after this semi-open file after this pawn. You did really nice. This protects both this pawn and this pawn simultaneously. Not bad at all. The only thing is we're going to have a hard time doubling up our rooks because, right, where am I going to double? And this guy's now no longer talking to the rook, but otherwise I like it. He brings his king up into the board. Good. You're starting to bring your king out. And he pushes the pawn saying, yeah, if you take, I get a free rook, right? But you're not going to take, right? So you push, which is good. Push through. If he pushes, you get connected pass pawns. So now he just gave you a pass pawn, right? And these are the other two pass pawns in the game. You're looking good. You got a pass pawn, and you check, and he goes away, and you okay. And he comes back looking for the file again. Goes back for your pawn. You push it again. Now, that we can talk about is that the best play for your? But you notice how this bishop is stuck here now? What we were talking about?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
made
it
your
is.
bishop totally dead, while his bishop is it's going to take a while, but his bishop should be able to get some activity, while yours doesn't, because your king is blocking it. And even if you move the king and then move the bishop and then tried to get your king here, of course, he would take your pawn.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I think your biggest problem was the positioning of this bishop, and you made it into what we call a very, very tall pawn, because he's acting like as if this were a pawn, you'd be happy. But it's like one of your strongest pieces. It's your bishop. And I don't know why he left, right? Because this keeps the bishop, by him staying here, your bishop had to kind of stay home. So I think he'd be better off if he just kept your bishop locked in. But as you see, he did not keep your bishop locked in, and I have no idea. No idea. Don't like this move. Don't know what it's doing for him. Oh, he wants to protect this so he can run his king away. Okay. Me, I'd want to put the bishop here and then here. And that way, if you take, I fix my pawns. And then this one can run, But okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So he's just running over to try to finally get that pawn away. Takes, and he gives you this pawn because he didn't want to give you this pawn. Okay. This pawn is
Free candy.
yeah, I do love saying free candy. Look at that. So do you know what this is called, what he just did?
No, I don't think I know the name of it.
Okay, it's called taking the opposition. Anytime especially, we're talking endgames, right? Anytime that you can move your king so that you create a situation where there's an odd number of squares between the kings, you have taken the opposition. And one is the best. It's direct opposition, immediate opposition. So he took the opposition, which means your king cannot move forward. Now, his king can't move forward either, but it's your move. So if you move here, he moves here, and then as you see, you can't go this way, and right, so you'd have to go away, and he could outflank you. It's really important when you get down to just kings and pawns, but it is called the opposition. It's definitely worth knowing. It is extremely important for endgame play. All right, and we'll see
Okay,
more of
yeah.
that. So he keeps the opposition. He pushed the pawn. He gets to take. You get to take back, and if he steps up, which he did, it seems like so far it seems like he understands the opposition. So you notice you backed up, he took the opposition. So again, your king cannot come forward. The best your king can do is sideways or backwards. Now you have a bishop, as you noted. So you have something else you can move, and you're not stuck. But this is fine because he brings it over, and your king still can't come here. Your king's best move is here, if you were to try to go forward. I mean, not that it's the best move. So let's see what happens, because this is all endgame. Okay, he offers the trade. You chose not to take it. Oh, because you're in check. Sorry, my bad. Again, fantasizing.
Yeah.
Forgetting you're in check. But if you just back up, because if he takes, you could take back with the king, and then you're on top of his pawn. You don't want to take. Probably could even take with the pawn, but you don't want. There's no reason to ever give him a free to help him have a advanced or passed pawn. So the problem with this move is it's free candy. And double
Yeah,
pawns are
yeah.
weaker, right? Because double pawns, they're blocked by one pawn. But double pawns also have this odd strength about them that they can cover all of these squares. And now your king, you know, has to go away from your pawn. But his bishop's a light squared bishop. Your pawn is a dark squared pawn. He's not going to be able to take it, right? With the bishop. All right. So you move away, and this isn't bad because you can still fight the opposition. Your bishop and your pawn are keeping his king a slow way to get anywhere. Your other choice was to come down here, protect the pawn maybe, and work your way over here, which this is the only place where the action is going to happen. But this is fine so far. And you look at you coming towards him. By the way, this is indirect opposition. So he runs his bishop somewhere. Okay. And the nicety of his bishop is it's still hitting this square and it's still keeping your king out of those squares. And your king and his king is keeping your king out of those squares, but now it's his move. So, right, he's got to find a move. He decides to come all the way back because, again, he doesn't want your king in here. And you move your king. And he could have just, this could have very easily been very George. He could have just run away, right? He could just keep going back and forth. But he decides to go after your pawn and he allows you to take it. Allows you to take another pawn, and now you're looking pretty good. You both have passed pawns. His pawn is a rook pawn, by the way. Do you know anything about king and pawn endings?
Uh, Not much.
Okay.
Not much.
So a rook pawn with no bishops, that rook pawn right now where your king is and his king is, it's an auto draw. You can draw this without even thinking. Your king just goes here and he can never get you out of the corner. Just go back and forth. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That's an auto draw. With the bishops, he needs to have the bishop the same color as the queening square. Otherwise, if this was a dark square bishop, this pawn is still auto draw. He can't kick you out if it's a dark square bishop. But because it's a light square bishop, he actually has a potential. If you lose your bishop and this pawn, he can actually win this game. But you have a bishop and a pawn. This should be a draw. I don't know how you didn't get a win, but I think you were in time pressure if I remember watching. This one, the only problem with this one is it's so far ahead. It's so far. Okay, good. So you bring your king in finally, and he's just shuffling. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Oh, look at this, and it's a draw, right? Because it should have been a draw. Oh yeah, I remember this one.
I messed up here.
Yeah,
I
I
put it on the
remember
wrong
that. You
file.
just
I should have put it on. I should have put it on the C file. I messed up.
yes, I remember
But
that. All right, so
it is what it is.
overall, not a bad game at all. Looks to me so far the only thing that I could help you with on that one is mostly endgame issues. He's
Yeah.
1,008 on chess.com. And he's 1,008 in this particular game. Somebody was asking what your rating was. All right, so let's see what happened in this game. And you do like the King's Indian type setups, but yeah, okay. And we're hopefully going to be pushing one of these two pawns eventually. And again, I like your opponent did a good job of developing quickly. Look at that. Your opponent did like the ideal setup when I teach my beginners. This is like I could show this one, except he did two knights in a row. I would usually want knight, bishop, but he got all of his minor pieces out, got his queen out, and so now he could castle either side. Like, just for me, it's like if you got lucky and could develop perfectly, he did it. So interesting choice. Usually it's here or here with the King's Indian setups. So nothing wrong with it. My only thing I'm waiting for is these guys to get developed because your opponent's fully developing, and now he's going to get rid of your bishop. By the way, just as a note, sometimes people will play this first, so that if if their opponent they'll do this, and that way they can just save their bishop. But we're talking like higher level grandmasters that like to not.
Yeah.
They
That's
don't want
really
to trade,
interesting. Yeah.
They don't want to trade their bishops, right? But here he's forcing a trade of bishops. Doesn't do it yet. Remember, he could castle either side, so he does. Oh, nice. And you get two pieces attacking the pawn, and you're attacking the bishop twice. Very nice move. What does he do? He says, I'm going to take the bishop. You take with the king. Remember that you have 5 things, right? So you could have attacked something in between, but that probably would not be good because you'd lose more candy. So good choice. And he goes over and protects. All right. So what do you think about what is our aim here? I see targets that you're hitting.
Yeah, I want to hit that bishop, and then possibly the idea too is if he wants to just trade with a knight, then I'll take back. And since the attack on the f pawn failed, I was thinking I might as well try to bring the knight back from the g file.
Okay.
So if he takes a trade, it works out for me, and I still target that bishop.
Okay. So you target the bishop, you're okay with the trade, and you free your bishop, which is the last part of development you need. Okay.
Hmm.
I'm game. Are you planning on attacking king side or queen side? Or is it really not thinking about where you're attacking, you're just moving
I don't
backwards?
think I'd fully thought about that yet. I put the queen on the queen side just because I was thinking I'd maybe attack, but then he castled that side. I was gonna maybe look for a free pawn on the b file because a lot of the time I can grab one of those.
Yep. Yep.
But I'm still knocking at his front door with the queen on that side. So.
Okay. Yep. And it's unfortunately the queen is by herself because your knight's way over here, and this one is now going towards the middle. So
Hmm.
and so this is where you will look also because maybe the thing is maybe we need to focus on one area to attack and try to pile up our pieces at that side, where maybe and what that comes down to is piece coordination. But we'll see. I'm still looking, still trying to find what's best to help you with. But piece coordination might be a factor that we want to focus on. So he does trade with you, and he doesn't care about you doubling up his pawns and opening up his his queen. Interesting. And he is launching a kingside attack, but I think most players would have been like, let me back this bishop up first and you know lock this down with my protection around my pawns, around my king, and there's no dark squared bishop to worry about this alignment. Personally, I think I'd like that first, and then we can start ex, um, expanding into that side. But he does it right away. You trade. Now he has weakened pawns. And interesting move with the queen. What were you thinking here? Remember?
Well, it was really I saw the weakness of the pawns, and I was thinking maybe if I could put bishop, I think that's e6. Maybe look for something at that the a file.
Okay.
Maybe get a free pawn out of it.
Okay.
No, but I guess then my queen, it would have been dangerous for my queen. But
And then you didn't do it, right? You didn't use the bishop.
yeah.
So here, not sure either. This one, I'm not sure what you're thinking here with the pawn move because that bishop wants to play, and he hasn't been
Hmm.
allowed to play yet. And I'd be happy with the bishop here. You really don't have a lot of great squares for the bishop, but you can also look at pushing here and then expanding and coming after his side. But you got to look out for your queen. Your queen is running out of squares.
Hmm.
And
I'm pretty sure that comes eventually.
okay, because you have a knight
Knight
there,
a4.
and now he's just took away that square from your queen. And so I don't know if you notice, he is threatening to try to win your queen.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying to,
I still
trying
have
to. He's got a ways
b4.
to go. Yeah, he's got a ways to go. But all right, we get some trades, and it opens up your king side. Okay, let's see. Yeah, he's totally not worried about. Well, maybe he is still trying to trap your queen. I'm not sure. And he doesn't. And you don't have a dark square bishop, so the only way you're going to help this one is with a pawn, which would take you a while to get there. Okay. And he's trying to break open your side before you can get to him. And he does seem to have the initiative so far. Actually, this is a very good move. I'm not looking to see if it's actually a good move, but I like it in the concept of using the pawn as a shield. So
Yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking. I was
excellent,
like, I did not want to take that. I wanted to have pawns covering my king, even if they weren't mine.
excellent, excellent. Very mature, very a little bit advanced there for thinking, which was excellent. All right, so he brings his queen in, of course, to look for pawns to attack. So,
That was just a bad move on my behalf.
yeah,
Bad
you
move.
didn't need to protect it yet, right? But you
Hmm.
do need to protect it, and you do need to deal with this. I don't even know if maybe bringing back the bishop first, protecting so that you. But yeah, you're going to have this, and these points are going to be hard to cover both. But your queen can get back into the game too. It's not doing anything. So again, we talked about piece coordination. Your rooks are here trying to help your king. Your queen and your bishop are off here on the side, not really effective. Okay, he decides to come in. And yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
he got an
Yeah.
easy infiltration. And I don't even know if you have a way out of it. This right here at this point, you're kind of have troubles. I
Yeah.
mean,
Very much so.
could have went here, but then yeah, you're in trouble.
Well, I go there and he still has F. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
it
and
doesn't it
plus,
doesn't look good.
yeah, because I mean, he's just got everything coming down on top of you right now. Okay, so the
If I could turn back time, I would maybe take with the D pawn instead, and maybe look for that.
we're at
Right as he took or right when he's in the queen's in my H file, so I push that pawn there, and then I would maybe take now
okay. Yeah,
because he couldn't take with the knight.
yeah, yeah.
So and then I can maybe look to even push that pawn down the middle, distract one of his rooks.
And here what do you do here? Because now he's doubling here. I agree.
There,
I do like that though, but I just don't know how you're going to you still have so much to try to survive.
yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
I'm worried that you have
It'd be a
so
hard
much
one.
going on. I mean, you can come here. He still gets this, but he doesn't get as much play.
Yeah, you move the bishop down too
Yeah.
to C8, and then
Yeah.
he doesn't have the D7
I don't think we
anymore.
can do it yet, though, right?
Yeah,
I think right now you have to deal with this. So you'd have to come here first, and he could take here. Means he's, depending on how you protect, which is, oh, come back here.
yeah. I was just looking at that myself actually.
Maybe get out of troubles because here you can actually pop the rook. This might save your bacon. I got to use as many pig references and ham references as possible. Oh man, this is tough stuff. Tough stuff. All right. So again, the only thing I'm looking at is piece coordination is the major thing that we would probably focus on today. So let's just see if I'm right. And this is not a King's Indian. This is a little different setup. So my only my curiosity is that this is normally because we're going to fianchetto, and then you brought the bishop out here, which is fine, but you're not fianchettoing your bishop, so it's kind of interesting.
So my idea there is, so I like to bring the knight out early. And one thing that's a big problem for me is when I bring the knight out, I push the d pawn to d6, and that protects it from any pawns coming in the e file, right?
Okay.
But when they bring out the pawn from the c file, it takes away from that defense. So if they push the c file first, I usually throw out b6 and then d6, just so if anything happens, it'll be a little bit safer.
Okay. Have you ever thought about just fianchettoing the bishop during that time?
I have, and I've tried that in a couple games.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure these are unrated games, so I try to do some different stuff too.
Yeah, that's one of the hard parts for me when streamers especially, right? I'm trying to go out and find games to help you with, but they're streamed games, so you're probably not playing your best. You're talking while you're playing, you're trying
Yeah,
out new things.
exactly.
So it's hard for me to find what you need. But this is the second game now out of three. 2 out of 3 games, you pushed this pawn when you had a bishop here. Interesting choices, because then the bishop still doesn't have the natural drop back. This is the second game where you've kind of like taken away the bishop's natural drop back. And he did exactly what I would have done, which is say, let's make that bishop move then because he can't go where he might want. And instead, now he's murphing this center pawn. I call it murphing because the pawn can't move. And this bishop is like blocking him. So very interesting setup. But yeah, I'm thinking this is not healthy for you in the long run. And it got you, this is the second time, like I said, that last time you were able to trade off the bishop and it didn't hurt you that you did it. But this time it's looking like the same kind of situation going on. And look, he did the same thing. Again, this would be what I would consider more normal, so that if he takes, he can free the rook file.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but he did the same thing you did, and he pushed the pawn. Now that gets his bishop in the game because his bishop has been locked out of the game by his queen. So maybe that's why he figured he didn't mind if you doubled up his pawns, he'd get his bishop into the game. And you did, and he did. And then you said, okay, go ahead. You can move your bishop, but I've already blocked that diagonal. And sure enough, there we are. And he gets to push your queen, and yeah. Notice he has not castled yet. Dangerous. Okay, so let's go back to here. So this is a little dangerous on your part. Why? Well, right now your pawn, you have all these squares covered by your pawns. That's pretty healthy, right? So that's pretty healthy for you. This pawn is attacked once, defended once, but that's it. And your knight isn't in the game yet. So again, I'd want to see if I can develop my knight somewhere. Can I get my knight into the game? Unfortunately, you don't have the greatest squares for your knight, including here and coming back here or something. Maybe, but here, attacking here, he gets to push, and then you got to deal with it and play. Okay, but this move I'm not crazy about, mostly because we still have this diagonal, and you're breaking up these pawns. I don't know. Okay, he takes, you take. Is that free candy now? He didn't take. Why didn't he take? Because he sees the discovered attack on your rook, which you can't.
Yeah, he saw what's coming.
And you can't put anything in between. So, by the way, this is free candy, but he sees better free candy in the rook. You can't even block with your bishop, you can't block with the knight, and your rook can't run away. So, better on him because he saw that opportunity. Nice counterattack. Always like it when you find a good counterattack. Then he used the queen. Interesting. No problems. I think that still works fine, right, for him. I almost would have wanted to go here. I think. I don't know. I think personally, my gut says, why am I putting my queen out in front? But you have no other. You guys did trade rooks, so not as big a deal. Ooh, nice. But now he just takes your queen, right? No, I'm wrong.
He
Sorry,
wants the free candy.
but he gets the free candy. This way, he gets the free candy, and I don't see I don't see that you have any counterplay after taking the free candy that way. I mean, this gives you hopes. I mean, it's not going to work out because, right? You can't get there, but it does, and you can't even get this check. But you do get this one with check. Why give you that opportunity? Yeah, I think that was a mistake. I think he should never have given you. There's no reason to give you this opportunity if he just traded, right?
Yeah, it would have made a lot more sense for him to trade, but I don't know. Lower rated players are greedy, very very greedy.
True. Let's see. I don't even know what his rating was, but yes. Oh, and here, my friend, your move.
I believe it's. What was the move? So the move was d3, but I don't. Was that the best move though? D3. Do I have a mate here? Don't tell me I somehow have a mate. Or I could probably take that pawn too.
Take a pawn.
Take
Try
on
again.
d4.
Try again. You do have a mate. Hey, Mathurian. How are you? Yes, exactly.
Bishop d3? Is that really it? No.
Well, move it and find out. No, that's you said D3.
Obviously not. Yeah, not that. Not
you said
that.
bishop D3 and then you took A2.
D3. Oh yeah. No, that is mate. And then he can't go. Yeah. No, that's right. That's right. Much better move. Much better move.
Yeah, I thought so. Oh, and this is a game you won though. So I don't know how I
Yeah. I just chased him around.
I don't know how I snuck in a game that you won, but yeah. And again, you technically shouldn't have won because he should. Yeah. Okay. So all this chasing around when you had mate a while back, and you did finally get it. But yeah. And
eventually, it took some time.
Right. And all of this could have been sidestepped by him by just simply taking the queen. You have nothing better. He gets a free rook, and he's winning pretty easily.
Yeah.
But mistakes are made to be happening. All right, so looks like coordination of the pieces is maybe the first thing we'd want to work on. I'm still not sure that I know about your opening acumen, but maybe when you play a game, I'll watch and you'll be playing, to help us see. But I want to see you coordinate your pieces towards one target at a time. And please note that your pawns usually tell you which side of the board you should be attacking on, but your pawns are not well placed in this game. So it's hard to tell.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's hard to tell where you should be attacking. And this move I really don't like because he takes, you take, you free the diagonal. You need to develop this knight. You need to get the rook off the diagonal before you do anything with opening these up. So you're missing this discovered attack along this diagonal. And that's an alignment thing. I usually teach about alignment a lot. I didn't even mention it with you yet because it hasn't come up. But alignment is with like, oh, look, the queen and the king. If I can get a rook here, I'm in great shape. Ooh, look, the knight and the king. If I can get a bishop or a queen here, that might help. Right? So I'm looking for those kinds of alignment. But there's also this kind of alignment. And so you have to see that bishop is hitting on your rook for the future. Make sense?
Okay, yeah.
All right.
You know what they say? Pins equal wins.
I like that. I usually say je pin, je win. But yeah, I like your way too.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so let's get a contestant, and your name in LOLEntix is
it's LOLEntix LOL again.
LOLEntix LOL. So you guys, somebody should give our student who is a combatant in the MayHam tournament, which I have to change my MayHam announcement. In fact, I'm going to change it and put you in there. He needs an opponent. Please make it 10 plus 5 because that's the tournament, and make it casual so that he isn't pressured, worrying about, he doesn't worry about LOLEntix rating points anyway, but go ahead and do that. Yeah, Ratchet, you like saying that. You say that every time, and it is true. It is true. So yeah, on LOLEntix. Whoever, so you should be getting a challenge pretty soon, Mac. I would imagine.
I'm in one with Krish.
Okay, he gets in there every time.
Yeah, he was on it, man.
He's becoming famous for being our test one. So it's kind of good for you guys because since he's played almost every one of you, you could see how he did against them and see how we could kind of see how good you are against each other. All right, good luck. And I'm going to stop so you can't hear me, but feel free to speak.
Okay.
Hey, thank you for the follow, Win-Win. Appreciate it. Satoshi, hello. I'm going to try to catch up on chat while he's playing. I got to watch him too. But
I think this is good. Don't bully me too hard, Krish. Don't bully me too hard here. You saw those games.
It feels good, doesn't it, Ratchet? I'm too good for these guys.
Hmm.
Chesswoods is probably too good too. He's not as high rated as you. And I don't know, King might be too good because King keeps winning. Yeah, King gets in there every time. Yeah, I've decided this is the most self-promotion I can find myself doing. Well, I'm doing it now. Oh, let me go fix my Nightbot. Yes, he can hear me. I know King is supposed to not be listening to the stream, so probably shouldn't say too much because he doesn't need my help. But in fact, I think he says he doesn't really pay attention, but he does usually chat back to us his thoughts, which is kind of nice because then we get to hear his or read. We get to read his thoughts as well as listen to Mac's thoughts. I wonder if Mac feels cramped and slow in development. The only thing about these systems, it's very passive for the most part, and then you try to counter attack. And so maybe he likes being a counter puncher, maybe he doesn't. See if Mac learned that little tidbit. But then again, he might not care about trading his bishop. Oh, now see that's where I would have changed up because the king's here. I can go queenside. I would have taken with the pawn, freed my rook, got this in here. I would have went for that. That me. Flavio, I hope so. We're going to see about his piece coordination. He's playing this very passive opening and giving away pawns. That's a free candy, guys. He plays fast enough. I tell you what, he's not going to have trouble with the time limit. Oh, that kind of listen. I'm sorry. I meant two different things. I meant I want to see if Mac had listened about not having the bishop be taken, where you could drop the bishop back. And then, yes, I was talking about also king listening. I forgot. Yeah, there was two listens in there. Yeah, yeah. If you like, that has become so vogue, which I think is a result of. So King missed a free candy, but he had free candy. But that has become so vogue. It seems like I don't know when, but even grandmasters, H pawn. You listen to what's his name, Simon, GM Simon. Yeah, Simon Williams. He loves talking about the Harry or the Harry pawn. He calls it Harry. Gotta push Harry. Gotta get Harry out there. He loves pushing this H pawn. Loves it. When I grew up, nobody would be doing this. This is crazy. Nobody would be doing this. And now it's a regular thing. Very regular thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think King. I know King missed free candy.
I already don't like the position. I already knew I made a mistake. Well, not a mistake. That was probably an inaccuracy. Just because.
Yeah, now. Yeah, Ratchet. But
This
give me
is
20 years ago, 30 years ago.
kind of
30
killing
years
the
ago, you
vibe.
didn't see H4. So things. I mean, the game still is evolving. Still evolving. I think it's amazing how it keeps evolving. And this is not a worry, but this can be a problem.
Idea.
Okay. I was wondering if you'd
I
go
have
for
an
that.
idea.
It has potential. It has potential. I don't want to talk too much because, like you said, King doesn't need my help.
Let's see what happens here.
So looks like Mac has good tactical ideas, and it seems like most of the players in the tournament do. His opening repertoire is very quiet, very passive. But other than that, it looks he looks fine. So it'll be interesting. I think this will be a very interesting tournament. Looking forward to it. All right, so now we have that discovered attack that we were talking about. Let's see if he pays attention. Bringing it back here helps cover that square. He also has that one. But, you know, you take, and then you still get a discovery somewhere, and then you're still threatening here. So,
I think I had a better move.
I don't know. I don't know how much of a better move he had. I like that move, followed by that move. Yeah, I like that move. You get this too. And see, this is the doing it after the fact, right? Do it first, you get a tempo, but you still have to deal with this. That would have been a checkmate, so he is giving himself a way out. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Well, that would be nice overall, but very complicated for a computer to explain it moves because it's working off of algorithms and not off of logic or common sense. So it's hard, very hard. This is interesting. I don't. I like what I think Mac's coming out of this alive. Might be multiple sacrifices being planned, but I think he's coming out of this alive. Ah, good to know, King. And don't be giving extra time. I got to go to work in a half an hour. Chess Wizard, by the way, it was very nice of you to give extra time.
Couple different ideas.
That was very nice. It was just I wanted you to stop when it was getting close to quitting time. Mathurian. Ah, it's just you're making me smile. You being here, it's like seeing my old friends. Yeah, I think Black has found his way. He's coming alive. Yeah, that would be the explanation from the computer. Very good, Satoshi. Yes, yes, that would be the explanation from the computer. And who wants to read that? Wow. Yeah, I know, but they have to learn. If they are taking too much time, they won't learn, and we won't know that that's a problem. Well, we do because we can see that you gave him so much time, but still, we don't know how he would have played once that time pressure got going. So if you allow him to get into time trouble, I think that would work better. Yeah, that was actually played.
Would have been embarrassing to get mated like that.
So would just get this in, and you're looking good. And if he takes, then you could take this way. I think he could have just stymied the whole, just because he was looking healthy. I kind of liked it. I would have liked it if he had gone there personally. I like that move. I don't know what you guys think, but I think that would have been the better move. What do you guys think? Doesn't really work. One attempt, because then he could have taken. It's just the way. Okay, he's seeing other attacks. Nice. I'm not even looking all the way over there, but I wasn't. Nice. We'll take it. But again, I would have liked move this king to set him up. I also would have got him out of this. Would have been pretty nice. That would have been pretty nice. Now, he throws this in. We know he's just throwing checks. So hopefully we don't see that. I'd love this right now. That would be excellent. That would be looking at. See, I like this is pushing him off of the alignment. I like the alignment. I wanted him to keep that alignment. I think that alignment would have been so much more healthy for him. Now his defenders have gone all over the board. And this is a free candy. What am I missing? Why are we giving away free candy? Doesn't even have to be 10. Oh, really? Wow, look at that. Stories about AIs and computer programs.
This is interesting. I gotta say, this is
You gotta
very
do whatever you want,
interesting.
King. I'm not telling you.
I'm looking at this, but at the same time, like,
We're not
there's a
telling
lot
you,
of stuff
King.
you could do to just stop
It's on
it
you.
outright.
Nice counterplay. Nice counterplay. I wonder if he saw all that. He might have seen all that when he moved the bishop there. Unfortunately, it's just trading down a whole lot of pieces. Let's see, is he winning even? No, it's totally equal. So let's see how his endgame play goes. Hopefully doubles the rooks. Right? Gotta double the rooks, guys. Rooks like to talk to each other. Rooks, oh, but he does have free candy. First, and then you get. I would have doubled the rooks first. Threaten to mate. Always threaten to mate. I totally understand and agree with you, Satoshi. I don't like engines. They are rude and they just make you feel so bad. Yes, just engines are bad. Get rid of engines. All right, so he's got a now. Easily defend here if he wants. Back and I don't care. It'll be interesting. Pretty much know that's coming. That's my brother. Do you want to defend it this way? Do you want to defend it this way? Personally? This way he could push it. And you don't get to push it. Pawn now doubly attacked. Too many times attacked. Okay, we throw a check in. This pawn is too many targets. Too many targets. I just let that pawn go a long time ago. But I still would have liked the rooks. Good. I want to get a trade of those rooks eventually because there was only to defend.
There's a lot of problems with what's going on.
And
I think that
here. Good answer. But not a gigantic problem.
Give him that.
Still doing fine. Which he should. Yes, sir. How to force that trade. The end game. Pass pawn cannot be underestimated. The pass pawn cannot be underestimated. Power of that pass pawn.
Good stuff.
Good game.
There's queen, no matter what, or queen or his rook, because then now I just go here.
Yeah, of course.
Well, no, I can't really go there. Depending on what he does. Like, if he moves up, I'm just going to start pushing my other pawns, or maybe bring my king over here. Depending on what he does.
Engines notoriously like free candy. They love their free candy. Oh, and actually, what am I talking about? Never mind. I don't want to. You guys might want to know what this. Boom. Oh, where's my clock? And where's my. Let me here and see if I here. Where's the clock? I don't even know where the clock's hiding. Not showing up. Oh well. End game is going. Let's see. This is looking interesting, guys. Gave up.
Guess that was a bit silly, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a bit silly. Yep. Gave up. Keep person has lost. Competitor. Yeah, had to keep the rook. Take away the rook or the king. Would have been.
Well, let him make.
Go king. I gotta get. We gotta give a review. So let's go. King, come on. That's rude. That's. You just to get a rook, queen, and checkmate as fast as possible. Anything else? It might be. Yeah. Endgame wouldn't hurt. Endgame is good for everybody. All right, good. Black resigned. White is victorious. Good job. That's at that point.
Oh yeah. I just figured I'd resign. It's all good.
Yeah.
Man, that was the out. Oh, man.
Not today, of course, because you must like being a character, and you have to find ways to counter attack. See, you're with me, right?
Yep, I'm here.
So what's up with this move? Do you notice anything about it? Because I see free candy.
Where's the free candy?
Hopefully it's just Santos. I'm hoping.
My thought process was I'd like to get that center pawn out of there, but then I realized even with that pawn, it's kind of it was a.
See you later, Mathurian.
Probably.
Well, thanks, guys. I fixed my internet.
Then my D pawn is open from the queen.
Very good. And remember, you because we're in the study now. Yep. Okay, so not good idea. By the way, this side. No problem. There's a way to try to stop it, but I like freedom pawn. So I thought that was a good try. I thought this was enterprising. I liked it a lot. I like this a lot. This was good. Good. Come back. Tax your knight, and I like the alignment. Takes. You still. I'm still looking at how to. I really want to make.
I guess I was willing to sacrifice the pawn to get the queen in. I saw that was such a nice file for both of them to be on.
Yep.
There was checks.
You keep calling those files just for it's diagonals, but I know
diagonals. My bad.
I know what you mean though. Consider this move.
It rushed through my head, trading queens, possibly putting the pawn back in the G file. But I don't know. I like the diagonal attack more.
Okay, because I
saw
like
the pawn.
You get to totally start pushing around. I'm fantasizing today. It's like my worst day. Okay. And then this move, I was like, what is he doing? You're giving away free candy. And then I was seeing something I didn't, which was this, which was beautiful that you saw that. I didn't. That's for you. But I do like here. So here, I think I have a not so sure sometimes. All right, Ratchet, we'll see you later. Take it easy. And Chesswords, you'll have to show us the checkmate. So I was thinking, if you get this down to one isolated pawns, you have a backward pawn, and you grab this pawn. and this pawn will give you 2 pawns up. So
Yeah. So my idea with the original move order, which was checked around. So I took that, and then I wanted to look for. So what would he probably try to attack that? I think. What was the actual move? It was here. Yeah. Yeah. Saw that. That would have been the best. But he saw it and he moved his king over.
Yep.
But that would have been a nice mate too.
Yep.
That's
I came over, and then you push pawn. You could have where it got dicey, because he's here. This is where I was thinking, yeah, if you had traded off a rook, you would have been better off.
yeah.
So you could give this one, and if you get this pawn,
Yeah.
you no longer have the backward 2 pass pawns like winning again. If you get rid of, but this is natural. But the problem is he does get a nice tempo to come over here. You could just
Yeah, I didn't want to draw it though. Like we could have.
I don't blame you. I think
hung
you're
out
winning.
all day.
Yeah, I think you're winning. I don't think you want to do it. You know, sometimes you can't do anyway. So I think, which is again a principle. We want to double our rooks. But the next best thing is to open file. And if you notice again, there's only one open file. So you could have to worry about checkmate. Because here you get to because again, this is a lot better than rook attacking, not with 2. He only had 1 rook attacking. You have much better chance. I mean, here, give away that pawn. 1 rook would win this game much easier than letting him keep 2 rooks. Take here to keep you from getting it. Otherwise, you maybe bring this rook to trade again.
Makes sense.
So yeah, if you're ahead, again, anytime you head on material, trade pieces, not pawns. So if you're ahead, you want to get rid of one of those rooks. You can get rid of one of those rooks or both of them winning. Right? You got to you win if you can get rid of both rooks. Or try to simplify down to 1 or no rooks and you win this game. So you got to know when to simplify because you're winning. I like it. Good job. Good job. So I think we were talking about you coordinating your pieces, but here you traded most of them, and Chess was the thought he saw a. Oh, okay, never mind. He checked with the computer. Anyway, so yep, and then queen and bishop to work together, and this was this.
That's why I moved the bishop. I was like, if he chooses not to take, then I'll mate him, I guess.
And you saw all this, huh? Nice.
I did, yeah.
That's very nice. Check first if you wanted to. Because right, it's not you don't get to. I don't know if the judge is thinking, hey, you can throw in the check, and then what happens? You know, looking through. But I really like that move. That was really, I would call it cute, right? I mean, you just get your. I'm gonna get the bishop back. That was cute.
You gotta be sneaky. You know.
Good. I liked it. I'll admit, I liked it. I am looking, and it was like, yeah, I get a free. I get that bishop back. There's no way for him to protect it. Here it's just where you got to find a way, right? This is like this would be your puzzle-worthy moment. How do I play this out? And you're a pawn, but you got to coming at you, and you just and you could give these. By the way, endgames, rooks belong behind pass pawn. Notice, yeah. So you need the rook to be behind the pass pawn, not in front of it.
It was silly giving my rook away like that. I didn't
that was
even.
just a blunder. Yeah. I count that as a blunder. No worries. You have here.
Yeah.
He takes with the rook. You should have had a draw with it. A good game.
Yeah.
Good game. All right. Hope that helped. We have a couple of things for you to think about. Piece coordination.
Mm-hmm.
Point them one side of the board. Endgame, definitely, I think you could spend some time on. This was just a blunder, but still, Rooks belong behind. Making a pass pawn was great, but knowing when to simplify would be thing I'd want you to think about. You did a good job
Okay.
of being, you found tactics to stay in the game. And
Yep,
at a
yep.
point, you're winning the game. And you just have to know when I'm winning, especially in the end game, when I'm winning, if I simplify, do I win? And yes, simplification would have won the game for you. So you didn't want to force it like the guy tried to force a queen trade against you that time. And you took his knight with check and then you won the queen. That was a great ending.
Yeah, yeah.
Great ending, because he was trying too hard to simplify. So don't give away candy when you're trying to simplify, but you need to look for the opportunities to force simplifications when you're ahead. Cool beans. Nice
Okay, yeah.
job. Nice job. All right. Um,
It
I'm
was
going to go ahead and raid you. You're going to
okay,
go,
perfect.
yeah, because you're I am not an IM tournament every Wednesday. You might want to check that out sometime because then you could play in that.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Just for
I'll have to
practice,
check it
right?
out.
And it starts at 11 o'clock our time, or 12 o'clock our time this week.
Okay.
11 or 12 o'clock our time, and that's when you're usually on anyway. So you could play in the tournament,
Hmm.
you could stream it, and you could and he commentates. But that way, you'll actually a couple of your opponents for this tournament. By the way,
Oh, okay. So I'll do some see
yeah,
how they play.
yeah. Yeah, I know. Sudakus is streaming his I am not an IM, and it's probably too late for NTEX to get in the tournament. So I thought you guys can go help out NTEX and check him out as he hopefully goes over what we did today. Right? Hopefully he uses this stuff. And I will talk to you later, Mac. I will get with you either email or stream whisper. And guys,
Okay.
I will check into my internet because I know we've had it fixed. I just need to sometimes clear out the cache and cookies and muck in the background. But I'll get the internet to be a little bit cleaner for you guys next time. I'll see you guys Friday night, 8 o'clock. We are having a lesson with Bolt. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Thank you again, Mac. We'll see you around.
Yeah, thanks again.